What's more delicious than chicken nuggets? Or a sub sandwich with sliced chicken? Or chicken noodle soup? Chicken isn't only delicious, it's nutritious as well. Chicken is a great source of protein, which is an important building block of bones, muscle, cartilage, skin, and blood. Protein provides our bodies with energy and keeps us strong and healthy. And guess what? There are 8 grams of protein in only 1 ounce of chicken. The amount of protein foods that you need to eat each day depends on your age and your level of physical activity. For example, an adult athlete will need more protein than a child who doesn't remain very active. The amount each person needs daily can vary between 2 and 6.5 ounces. For the average child between the ages of 9 and 13, 5 ounces of protein should be eaten each day. All foods made from meat, as well as poultry, seafood, beans and peas, eggs, processed soy products, nuts, and seeds are considered part of the protein foods group, so you have plenty of options for how to achieve this 5-ounce recommendation. And thankfully, chicken is an easily accessible option because it sure is delicious. But how did chicken become so accessible? Well, to understand the transformation of the poultry industry, we've got to go back to the 1800s. From the 1800s to the early 1900s, poultry production mainly took place in the household. Many families had flocks of chickens that served 2 purposes. They supplied eggs, and they would occasionally be used for dinners on a special occasion. In the 1920s and 30s, chicken meat production, which had always just been a byproduct of the egg industry, began with the development of the broiler, which is a chicken raised specifically for its meat. Broiler production began in locations with favorable weather, plenty of land and water, and a surplus of corn and soybeans, as those were the main ingredients in poultry feed. These locations included Delaware, Arkansas, New England, and our beautiful state of Georgia. While chickens had been raised in Georgia, mainly for eggs, since the early 1900s, in the 1930s, a man named Jesse Jewell helped kickstart the growth of the poultry industry in North Georgia, starting in Hall County. Jewell offered many North Georgia farmers baby chicks on credit. The farmers would mainly use these chicks for egg production, and when the chicks were grown, Jesse Jewell's company would buy back the adult chickens, or broilers, which were ready to be used as meat. This benefited Jewell because he didn't have to worry about the cost of raising the baby chicks until they were fully grown. This benefited the farmers as well, as it gave farmers a way to profit from chickens who were starting to produce less eggs. Once Jewell convinced enough farmers to produce broilers through this process, he opened his own poultry processing plant. Try saying that 5 times fast. Growth of the poultry industry was accelerated by World War II, as the government bought a lot of chickens and eggs to feed soldiers and others involved in the war effort. But the growth did not stop with the end of the war. In fact, it continued throughout the rest of the 20th century. In the 1950s, the number of farms producing primarily poultry rose from less than 100 to over 1,000. Growth continued in the 1960s and 70s as the popularity of chicken increased, both because of its nutritional value and because it was less expensive than beef. Finally, in 1998, Georgia became the top broiler-producing state in the nation and the 6th highest in egg production. Poultry has continued to be a vital part of Georgia's economy. Did you know that poultry production accounts for over half of Georgia's total agricultural output? Georgia produces more broiler chickens, or chickens raised specifically for meat production, than any other state in the nation. According to the Georgia Poultry Federation, poultry production contributes over $18.4 billion to the Georgia economy each year. Because of this massive amount of poultry produced in Georgia, Georgia has been declared the poultry capital of the world. And that's no surprise, considering that on an average day, Georgia produces 26 million pounds of chicken and 9.2 million eggs. And remember, that's each day. And each year, the average Georgia poultry farm produces enough poultry and eggs to feed over 22,000 people. Now that's something to get excited about.